1 in 4 American adults have a disability, and I'm one of them. I'm Lachi. I'm a recording artist and disability culture advocate, and I'm here to introduce you to Disabled Renegades.
I face each day as a renegade.
Judy Lynn del Rey is one of the unsung heroes of modern fantasy publishing. She was both a genius at marketing and also had a really fine, keen editorial eye.
Somebody brought her this idea of a book based on this movie that was going to come out by George Lucas. She could tell that this was going to be big.
That novelization of Star Wars sold 4.5 million copies in less than 5 months.
Aloha. This is Senator Dan Inouye reporting to you from Washington.
He always defined himself as equal to.
To be able to get elected to office in local government, get elected to office in the U.S. government, rise up in stature in the Senate to the point that he is the president pro tem, which is third in line to the president. Only in America is that possible.
God has given me a rare gift that I'm here to share with you.
One of my earliest memories is just like of the comfort of her mouth on me.
The Department of Public Welfare declared me unfit to be a mother because of my disability, but they failed to realize my mental capacity.
I am the representation of a war that was won. The court system, they never thought that I would be a success because of her, but it's because of her that I am.
Thomas Wiggins was one of the major musical figures of the 19th century. A child prodigy, he wrote his first composition at the age of 5, but he was black, blind, and enslaved. Otherwise, he might be considered like Mozart.
What we want to do is look at him in a larger context, like he was a very important person on a continuum of early American pianists that eventually led to the creation of jazz, rock and roll, and rhythm and blues.
Brad Lomax was dedicated to the work and not the limelight.
We saw the barriers and obstacles people had to deal with, whether it's in the hospital, in an apartment, or just going down the sidewalk.
Black Panthers came every day and fed us every day for the whole sit-in, and that's really, quite frankly, how we survived. We wouldn't have survived without food from them.
What is Brad Lomax's legacy?
He was the beginning of disability justice, intersecting Blackness with disability. He was already there, and all of the people that are working on it now, we're all his children, continuing that work.
Boom, there you go. That was a trailer for Renegades, streaming right now on American Masters on PBS, as well as PBS everywhere. Go check it out. It's so good. I'm Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World. Joining me to talk all things Renegades are Cashmere Jasmine and Marsha Hallager, directors, producers behind this amazing project over at PBS. Thank you both so much for your time. Just to start us off, I see on this call right now, all of us are people of color, and we know how important it is for representation. So when I saw this as well, I was like, let's go, especially our disabled community. We have so many friends and family that are members of this community. So to have this and to see this is so beautiful. What was it for you both? What was your why when this came across you as a project to do? If I could start with you, Marsha.
Sure. Well, I've endured some tough issues, along the way where I've actually lost, or people found a way to revoke an agreement, a deal memo that I had in place once they found out about my health, my disability. And it feels awful. Yes, we hear all the time, oh, that's not legal. We know that, but it still happens. And so this project, similar to you, I'm like, let's go. Let's tell these stories. Let's introduce them to people who do not know who they are, who will forever know who they are after this. And I'm just grateful to be a part of it and help tell the story.
Awesome, thank you. And for you, Cashmere.
There's an incredible intersectionality that we get to actually tackle right now. That honestly is incredible, but rarely seen. I think that even in our own communities, when we talk about disabilities, especially when they are invisible disabilities, there are additional preconceived notions about what it should look like, how you will be treated, and what you need to do to overcome them. There's a lot of misinformation and miseducation. This is an opportunity to bring an incredible figure such as Celestine or Higgins, who subverted the ideas and a lot of the perceptions thrust upon them. And that's an inspiration, and it also creates an incredible empathy. And for us, it draws us in to see our own people on the screen. And I think that education in our own communities is important as well.
Brilliant. I love that. So with that being said, there's so many, right? Or we're learning, especially for those that don't know. What was it like kind of breaking it down to the subjects that you capture for this, hopefully, first set? And we're going to have more because there's so many of us out there. How was it kind of picking the subjects for this first one? If I could go back to you, Marsha.
Well, we actually didn't pick the subjects. The
Okay.
creator, Dayal Muhammad, did. And then we were so fortunate to be asked to be a part of each or our projects. And, for Wiggins, I'll say, I was really adamant about making sure that this Black man was not portrayed as, the freak that people continuously said that he was, because he's more than that. And if we're going to introduce him to the world, to the people who are not aware of who he was, I didn't want that to be a part of the conversation. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Jack Johnson, one of the first
Boxers.
African American. Yes, right.
Yeah.
And so I use that analogy oftentimes because we discuss him as, unapologetically Black, right? And so why is it that we can put one Black man on a pedestal and then another, we have to tear him down? I was like, absolutely not. And so my focus was mostly like, let's talk about all the great things. There were so many unfortunate things that happened throughout his life, and that's real. And we're going to speak about that too. But as far as labeling him a freak, circus act, or anything like that, no, we're not going to do that.
I love that. Let's stop perpetuating, that false information. I love that. Let's change that up. So to you, Cashmere, and thank you for correcting me, Marsha. What was your approach or focus for the particular project you worked on within it?
I think it was similar because that is the overarching perception and stereotype of people with disabilities. Celestine had no arms and legs, and a lot of people that even we interviewed might have said that was her draw. It was so strange. It was such an oddity. I think was a word that was actually used. Now, although we stepped away from using those terms, we absolutely did want to make sure that we wanted to know that this is how she was perceived. And in light of even being perceived as that, she pushed against that. She let people know she was not only human, she was hilarious. She had a fantastic personality, and she was probably smarter than you. And that's what made Celestine stand out so much. I think the approach kind of made itself unfold, honestly, because it reflected our own process of really finding her out who she was and becoming just these series of newspapers that used words and terms that can be seen as very inappropriate and insulting, to really watching her be exactly who she was, to watch her perform, to watch her sing, to watch her crack jokes and dance. That's what we were able to bring to it because she already had so much to fill that out. We were really lucky.
Amazing. Well, thank you both. I have so many more questions, but what I'm loving right now is that not only are we seeing this representation with this particular piece, it's also behind the camera, because that is so very important. As a filmmaker like y'all, I'm like, let's go. If they're not going to give it to us, we're going to make it happen. So
that's right.
Thank you both so much for your time. Let me remind everybody again, Renegades is streaming on PBS as well as American Masters on YouTube. So it's everywhere. You can catch it. It's accessible, which is so important as well. So thank you, Marsha. Thank you, Cashmere. It is a pleasure to chat with you. I'm Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World. Thank you, Chance, and thank you both. Cool. All right. Hello, Cashmere. Hello, Marsha. It is a pleasure to chat with you both.
Hey, Kuya.
Thank you. So I'm going to count us in because I'm going to put the trailer right in front of our interview. All right. Let's rock and roll. Let's have some fun. Thank you again. All right. Cashmere Jasmine and Marsha Hallager. Okay. I can mess up names. All right. I'm going to count us in and help me with my edit. Here we go. In a 1, 2, 3.